So I'm in the circle calculator and I had already typed in all of this text. And the next thing we're going to do is outline these three cells. So I click in here and I select these three cells, and then I grab this item, borders, and I make the first choice. And I'll do the same thing here. And that just emphasizes these a little bit. And then I'll highlight this one in yellow and these two in green. I already have the input 4 feet, and again, this can be changed depending on which circle we're working with. And notice that 4 feet is the radius, so if I was given a diameter, I always have to chop it in half to get the radius. So a 4-foot radius goes with an 8-foot circle, 8-foot diameter circle. If I had a 10-foot diameter, then I'd put a 5-foot radius right there. So I always build it for a radius input. And I think that takes care of step 13, 14, and 15. And 16 and 17. Yeah, it looks like I already did everything down through step 20 here. Here I was just talking about the fact that we don't have a pi symbol, so I just typed pi times radius squared using pi text. And now we're going to enter a formula involving pi. So I want to make use of the fact that Google Sheets is a calculator. Instead of a pi button, we have to type pi and then open and then close parentheses, and that is like pressing the pi button on your calculator. Now, of course, you can always use 3.14, and that's not as precise as a pi button, which gives you a ton of decimal places. So in cell C7, close that off so you can see what column we're in. So we're in C7. I'm going to type equals pi, open, close, and that's how I enter pi in here, times C4, shift 6 to square. Pi radius squared is the area formula. And then do not take their suggestion. 2 times pi times radius equals 2 times pi times the radius. Nope. I don't want to type R, I want to type C4. And that references the radius. Enter. And this gives me the area in square feet and the circumference in feet. And because I referenced the cell, I can change this and auto update. 10-foot radius, auto update. 100-foot radius. And of course, I just arbitrarily chose feet. And if you put inches here, this would be square inches and inches again. So you can use the formula calculator to answer questions in the week 5 computer lab questions. Let's see what kind of questions there are there. Aha. If you have a 16-foot diameter, then you have an 8-foot radius, and then you can go get your answers. And what did I say? Round your answers to the nearest whole number. So this will be 201 and 50. 201 and 50. And then you can put zeros everywhere else and check and see if that works. So the final formula in this set of computer lab questions is the compound interest formula, and I think that's where our instructions are going next. So here we go, compound interest. Click on the plus in the lower left corner to add a new tab. So there's our circles tab, and now we're going to add a new tab and rename it compound interest. And I can type compound interest up here too. I'm going to just duplicate the text that I see here below. I'll just move this over a little bit. And then inputs. How many inputs do I have? 3. Principal, starting investment. And that's letter P. And because my text is actually pretty long, I'm going to drag this column wider. Interest rate R, time, parentheses, years, T. So those are my inputs. And I'm going to have 3 boxes for those inputs. And I'll outline those. And I'll shade them in yellow because they're my inputs. And now I'm going to have my outputs, or formulas. What did I call them before? Formulas. Okay, that's what we're doing here too. And I had bold, bold, bold. So the amount after T years is A equals big P times parentheses 1 plus close parentheses to the T power. That times is critical in Google Sheets. I know that in algebra, if you put a P next to a parentheses, the multiplication is implied, but Google Sheets does not understand that, so you need to tell it the Shift 8 multiplication symbol. And the only reason I have to press the ... is because I compressed this window. Normally, you can see all of these options in your toolbar already. But when I scrunch this down, then I have to use the ... to find those options. Okay, so I think I am ready. I can put these inputs in, and I can put my invisible formula here in behind the scenes with cell referencing. I'm going to go ahead and type in the example inputs that were given. $5,000 initial investment, 6% interest, and 8 years. And now I'm ready to type my equal sign for my formula. Oh, it's basically exactly how I typed it, except no, it's not like that. It's this is the text that I want to have. Equals C4 times 1 plus C5 exponent C6. So that's the formula I'm looking for. And notice that those cells light up in color to show that it knows what I'm talking about. If I hit enter, I should end up with more money than I started with. Quite a bit more, because I'm earning interest for 8 years. Well, 7,000 sounds good. It sounds reasonable. And I can click up here to format, and it will always keep 2 decimal places and give me a $sign. So that is the ending balance for an investment, and it does seem reasonable. And now you can use this calculator for your computer lab questions.